All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Zerglings and Zealots.
And Banelings and Marines, even some medics out there.
Indeed. Welcome back to the GSL Code A round of 32. This is, of course, the bottom level of the tournament to determine who goes into the up and down matches to make it into the
danger day.
The big money round of 32 for the Code S tournament. And today is Foreigner Day, if you're just joining us. Today is Sweden versus
Foreigner
Korea.
Day.
And if you're just joining us and you don't want spoilers, then you should go watch the VODs later, I guess, because I'm about to tell you that right now, Korea is up 3-0. And it's been really good games, though, I got to say it. And I'm really, kind of as a non-Korean, I like the Koreans fine, but, it's good to see the non-Koreans competing on the same level as the
Koreans. I like
Koreans.
that. It's exciting because it kind of leads to this more globalization of StarCraft 2, more people traveling back and forth. So, and we've already got Koreans traveling worldwide. Now we've got Europeans coming to Korea a lot more often. Makes me very happy. Now here's Czech. This guy is a veteran. This guy's been here for a while. He's actually the captain of Prime. He was in Code S. He was one of the top players in all of the open seasons, and he hasn't been doing as well recently results-wise, but I don't think his skill has gotten any worse, and Naniwa's going to have a hard time against this guy.
Yeah. Now, here's one thing, though, that Naniwa's going for him is Czech. He's been doing, GSTL, he's been doing other stuff. He's been in Code A, but he actually hasn't been playing many Protosses. He's played, like, one match against Protoss, or two matches against Protoss, and one game in TL, the Team League against Huck, in the last 6 months. Like, he's had virtually no practice against Protoss because he hasn't been playing them. So, I mean, obviously he plays against Protoss and is, like, practicing anyway, but point being, I think Naniwa might be coming in here with more practice against Zerg than Czech might be. I don't know. But there's Naniwa right there, Dignitas Naniwa.
Yeah.
I would say probably the most accomplished of the Swedish players. Maybe General, I guess, might be more accomplished in the sense that he's been here.
Yeah.
But I think Naniwa...
In Europe.
In Europe, Naniwa definitely the more accomplished player of all the foreigners that are here, actually this whole season.
Yeah, it's funny because Naniwa was always such a strong player, but in the past 6 months, he has just shot up like a tree that got watered every day. Just came up and he got just the right nourishment, and
not like a rocket or like someone climbing up a ladder quickly. It's a tree.
Yeah, man, he got shot up like a tree that got watered every day.
A fast-growing tree.
And that tree's got a lot more growing to do.
Yeah.
So no matter how Naniwa does today, he's in Korea now. He's going to be here for a while. We were talking about that earlier. These guys are probably all going to stay for about a month at the very least. And if Naniwa stays here, imagine how much better he will become. I mean, he's already great, and he could just improve so much.
And that's the thing is Naniwa, from his interviews and from talking to him a little bit, basically an impression I've gotten is... Actually, let me tell you about that in a minute, because we're going to get started with this game here in just a moment. First map is going to be Terminus. It's a nice, wide-open macro map, and I was looking at his records. Naniwa has, in fact, played a lot of Zergs lately. Let's get in game one. And here is, spawning at the top middle of the map, Terminus Re, our Korean player. Been in Code A.
Check Prime Wii.
Check Prime Wii. There's the man himself. He actually lost to Huck a couple weeks ago in the Team League. And here's our Protoss player, the last hope for Sweden and the rest of the world.
Dignitas Naniwa.
Dignitas Naniwa. What I was going to say about Naniwa real quick is he's not here to try and win Code A. He's here to become a better player.
Exactly. That's actually the case for all of these Swedish players who are here.
True.
Being in Korea is such a good experience for foreigners. Any foreigner that comes here can learn so much just from playing on the ladder. But more importantly, a lot of these guys are going to be staying in pro houses. For example, Thorzane right now is going back to the We Made Fox house. Phoenix is there with him, of course. Naniwa is going to be going to the Startail house later today to practice with them. So we've got all these players going to professional gaming houses to practice from the pros in Korea. I mean, how much better of an environment could you be in?
Yeah. Yeah, and sorry about that. Yeah, and Naniwa, he also, I think he's going to be staying like a little bit longer too. Like he's committed to like being here until he's better, basically.
Yeah.
I think the others are staying for like a month. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're
Well, I mean,
also
they have the ability to
going to
make more decisions.
They're also going to be here as far as participating in the team league. F United is like the Fox plus foreigners team.
Yes.
Going to be participating in the team league. So yeah, definitely a good experience. A lot of players come out here just for that reason, just to like, these guys have all won spots, but some players come out here like happy.
Yeah.
Just to be like, you know what? If I want to be a better gamer and be top level, I got to live in Korea right now.
It's true. I mean, Koreans have always been kind of ahead of the scene, especially in StarCraft 1 and in StarCraft 2. They're still pretty far ahead. So being out here and practicing with better players is really good. And the more Europeans that can get over here, not just Europeans, Americans, South Americans, anyone, Australians, we've got Australian players coming out here. Anyone who can come out here can really benefit so much from this new practice regimen that the Koreans have.
Now, I was talking before about how I thought Sase had like the best chance. I think I might underestimate the sniper a little bit, but Naniwa definitely has a good chance as well. He's also coming off of some victories right now. He's coming off of second place in the Blizzard EU Invitational. He's coming off of second place non-Korean in MLG Anaheim. Huck was first place, or first non-Korean,
right?
Which was 7th. And so Naniwa coming in 8th at Anaheim, and he's been really solid. I mean, he's placed high in every MLG this year, obviously winning the first one. So he is really, really high-level player. I've been saying it for a while that I think he's at the Korean level. I don't think he's at a high Korean level, but he's at a Korean level.
I would agree. Naniwa is one of those players that I've always been very interested in because I see so much potential in what he's done. It's funny because he's a War 3 player who has really good micro control, and his macro's not bad either, but his decision making, his speed is it's just so good. And now I like this pressure by Czech. Naniwa, of course, going for a 1-gate expand. It's very difficult to keep that Nexus up if your opponent makes a ton of Zerglings.
Oh no, the Zerglings getting in some force fields. They're pretty good. Actually, really good force fields. If he saves all those sentries, I will be impressed. He loses the Zealot and doesn't lose a single sentry. That was huge. He could have gotten really far behind right there.
Stargate going down here for Naniwa. And this is a pretty common follow-up to a very quick expand. Even if it's a 3-gate expand, it's often followed up by a Stargate. The usual use for the Stargate is Void Ray comes out, you follow up with Phoenixes, and of course you can lift up Queens, you can force cancel and hatcheries if your opponent's not careful, but more importantly, you can kill Overlords.
Nice little wall off by Naniwa. He's got his sentries behind that. Just doing a normal PVZ expand here. A little spine crawler going down at the front as well for Czech. Czech's connecting his bases by creep with a little creep tumor there. That's a good move. And a Void Ray is going to be coming out of that Stargate. Probably going to be followed up by some Phoenixes now.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to just kill some Overlords with it, or do you think he's really going to go heavy air and try and do a lot of pressure?
I think what he's going to do is he's going to kill Overlords with his first Void Ray if he can find any. I mean, there aren't actually any Overlords to kill. He's just going to go head towards Czech's base, finding any Overlords he can see. And then, of course, he's going to follow up with Phoenixes. I don't think he's going to way commit to this, but I think he's going to try to kill some Queens at the very least. And Roach Warren going down for Czech. That's another thing about this Stargate. It allows you to hold off Roach aggression pretty well. If you've got Void Rays out, it makes your opponent much less wanting to attack. He's like, well, you've got Void Rays. I don't know if I really want to move Roaches out right now.
Yeah.
Fast lair for Czech. Not super fast, but fast
Not
given the circumstances.
Yeah.
So he's going to be making some tech choices pretty soon. I think he's just going to get Roach speed with that.
Yeah, Czech
could go Infestors, though.
That's true. Czech has a lot of Queens out right now, so I don't think this Void Ray is going to do too much by itself. Did he make a second Void Ray?
Yeah, he's just started a second Void Ray.
Okay, just started a second Void Ray. So that's interesting. He's actually not going to go follow up with Phoenixes. No, he's making a third Void Ray.
Oh, yeah, he did make a second one. They were like stacked on top of each other. I couldn't even tell.
He's making a third Void Ray right now, so that is really interesting. So instead of going for the Phoenixes to, like, pick up queens. He might just go in and try and power down queens and maybe take out a third or something like that.
I think
he also could just go for an attack with the ground units.
Yeah, he's going to do a timing attack with his ground units. He's going to try to kill the queens with his ground units, and there's not a whole lot of defense. There's no spores for Czech. 6 drones on the way. Evolution Chamber, second one going down right now. He's got missile attacks being upgraded. No real units out for Czech. He's got 4 Zerglings and 68 drones. Now he's going to attack with this.
Running the queens. He knows those 2 queens can't take the 3 Void Rays, but he brings another queen down. He only has 1 transfuse. He's just targeting down the hatchery for now. A 4th queen coming in. He's targeting down the queen with the energy for transfuse. Beautiful move. He's now going to pick up another one and target it down. He runs out the injured Void Ray. 2 queens are going to go down. Is a 3rd. And looks like he's going to, oh my goodness. He's going to get 3 queens. Oh, he does lose a Void Ray. I was going to say he gets 3 queens without losing one, but he does lose one of the Void Rays.
And he's actually made a robotics back at home, so he's not going to do that timing attack. That was weird. It was a pretty big commitment to go for those Void. Now, some of you guys will, well, yeah, you got a queen, you got the queens. It's like, well, does it really matter if he gets the queens? If, like, he has enough queens and he's not missing any injects and he, like, hasn't missed any, he won't miss any? Yeah. No, it's not really a big deal. He got the queens. He lost a Void Ray there, so kind of a weird committal there.
I mean, he lost 150 minerals, and then the Void Ray cost that with plus gas. So it's not a very good exchange.
Yeah, it was. I mean, now he's still got Void Rays out. He's got a lot of Phoenixes around the map. He's going to continue to be very annoying, very harassy. 3rd base going up for Naniwa. And the robotic support bay as well.
He does have a number of Phoenixes, doesn't he, now?
Well, he's got just 4 of them out. The 4th one just popped out. Okay. He can make Phoenixes very quickly. Now
so he's got a decent Air Force. And robotics support bay almost finished, as well as the Twilight Council, kind of going like every tech route.
This Observer is going to fly right into Spores. A bit of a mistake by Naniwa. And you guys didn't get a shot at it, but he flew an Observer right into the Spores right there. Now these Phoenixes over here want to do a little bit of poking, but the queens are completely prepared for this. He's even going to make an extra Spore there. No reason not to.
Yep, that is a lot of queens. Oh, he's just burrowing another Spore. Moved it up. So transitioning over into Colossus, though, and that, I mean, he's very obviously forced Hydras. There's no reason not to go Hydras with that many air units around. I mean, he's got a lot of queens, but you're like, I think you probably need Hydras as well at that point. I mean, the Hydras are just good to have anyway. So, point being, he's forced the Hydras. Now he's switching over into Colossus. Just one Robo Colossus.
Yeah, and the Colossi, it's basically, this is a strategy that forces Hydralisks often, and then you switch into Colossi. Now, 12 Hydralisks have been made. He's got +2, about to finish up, of course referring to Czech. And he's going to do an Overlord drop here. Now, this is going to be pretty effective if, of course, Naniwa doesn't spot it, but he is patrolling his units. He may end up seeing this, but even if he does, he's not going to be able to stop all of these Overlords from unloading.
Oh, he moved his Phoenixes out of the way at just the wrong time. One is going to spot it. He knows it's coming. He needs to bring his forces back. His whole army is actually up in his main base, so he's going to be able to respond to this fairly quickly. Actually, no, it's in his natural. I mistook that. And he's going to have to run his probes away.
He's going to lose this Nexus at the very least.
Nexus, yeah.
And maybe lose the Forge as well. And if he loses the Robo, that's pretty huge.
Colossus oh, Colossus, moments from popping out, loses the Robo. That is actually really huge. And he may just pick up those units and get out now that the army is here.
I think he's going to. He doesn't have to. I mean,
well, I guess he doesn't have to.
I mean, if he tries to pick up, he might end up losing the units. He's just going to stay. He's killing a lot of sentries, killed a ton of probes as well, and his Overlords are going to get out, that's for sure. And now Naniwa at less than half the supply of Czech. GG.
And GG's. Wow.
During all of that, there was another Roach counterattack at the natural that we didn't even get to see. And he was just killing everything there as well.
Wow.
Czech, itching his chin, says that was maybe too easy.
Wow, okay, so...
I just want to talk about that game a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
Naniwa committed to those Void Rays and Phoenixes, didn't make any use of them afterwards, didn't stop Overlord drops with them, and then Czech was just able to do whatever he wanted. He had 3 bases up, he didn't really lose anything. When you lose a queen, when you have 5 queens, that actually is just 150 minerals lost. That's it. That's just it.
Yeah, it's not really...
So he way overcommitted with those Void Rays, made too many of them. He teched up, but he didn't respond to the drop very well. And when that happens, you lose pretty much. You lose your Nexus, and sometimes you just lose the whole game.
Yeah.
The Roach just came into the natural. He didn't have enough units to be in 2 different places at once. Czech just out-macroed him and played safe and played better.
Yeah, man.
That was a pretty crushing defeat for our first game.
Tell me how you really feel.
I'm just telling you guys.
Yeah, that was a little painful.
Yeah, but I mean, Naniwa, I think there was some nerves in that game.
And, something that we kind of mentioned at the beginning, and I've been trying to be optimistic about our Swedish players, to be honest, trying to, root them on here, but they all have had no preparation the last couple days. They were traveling. They were tired. General was sick. So even though we're seeing some great games, let's just throw that out there that
you got to keep that stuff in mind.
We might not be seeing the best play from any of these guys.
Well, that's definitely true, and I think when they've been here for a little bit longer, you guys start seeing them fly out of here to go to the tournaments. You're going to start seeing some of the best play, even better than their play was before, just because they've been in Korea. They'll be training with pros from Korean teams.
And I think, and I don't know this, don't quote me on this, but I think at least Naniwa and maybe some of the others are planning on staying till the next Code A qualifiers at
most
least
likely.
as well. And that's going to be 2 months of practice on the Korea server. Let's see if Naniwa can pull it out in Game 2, though.